Well, the time has finally come for us to start preparing the FRS for paint. I still haven't chose a color. It is probably one of the most difficult decisions that I've made in my life. Although I do think I've narrowed down to about 3 choices. We're painting the car, not wrapping it. So it's not gonna be that easy to change the color. Well, I guess unless we wrap it. But my main driving force for wanting to paint over wrap is to just, put this car on a completely another level that it deserves. Nacho, will you stop licking my leg, please? You're still doing it. But one thing I definitely want to do is at least save a little bit of money by doing a lot of the prep work myself. Don't get me wrong, I know that any body shop, well in this case, Brake Shift Body Works, because I'm going to be taking it to him, but a lot of shops prefer to do their own prep work. But the way I see it, if I can just knock out a couple of hours of sanding, that's just less amount of labor that I'll have to pay for. Not to mention I'm going to have to bond over the section where we have folded the inner skin of the body up on top of the outer skin, just so we can keep any water from getting inside of the car. There are a couple of other little dents that this car has that, of course, we'll go ahead and bondo over. One being this dent on my door from drifting, of course. Nacho, you are just begging for attention today, aren't you? I give you plenty of attention off camera. But yeah, I might have to get a dent puller just to pull out a little bit of this door. You could kind of see it on this upper plane here, but there's a definite crease that's right there. Maybe some Bondo can fix that. We'll have to see. And on my roof over here, when the cage was getting done, there was some dent that was formed here, I think, from maybe an angle grinder cleaning up some welds. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, you can see an angle grinder slipped and then just caused a little bit of dent that's coming out on here. An easy fix, though, with a little bit of Bondo. But with that said, I guess let's just jump into sanding. I will say, though, it's very important that you use some type of mask or respirator. The last time I was sanding something, it was the rear quarters on the S13, and all those fine particles ended up making their way down my throat, caused some irritations, and eventually got me sick. And with everything going on with COVID-19, I'm not gonna go and deprive the world of one more mask, so a bandana will do. I guess this means you can call me Bandana Bush Drift. Alright, it is the next morning. This is the amount of progress that I made last night, or at least up until it got dark. I did get down to bare metal on some spots, but for the most part, the whole driver's side is a flat white. I talked to Brandon, the dude that's gonna paint the car, and he said to make sure I don't get down to bare metal, but to go ahead and get the car down to a flat color with a 320 grit, which I was using on this sheet sander here, and it was kind of annoying because the edges weren't covered by sandpaper with, the sandpaper that I was using, so there was some scratches that were made. So to counteract that, I picked up an orbital sander this morning with 320 grit discs. Yesterday I was using 180, so I'm gonna need to step it up to a 220 and then do a 320 to make sure I don't have any scratches. And as much as I know that you guys love sanding content, I have a lot more sanding to do, so let's just keep on keeping on.
I got old friends in my hometown. Yeah, they left me, but I have you. I got new juice, oh they can't take it. Let my soul drown, cause they can't break it. Cause
I definitely chose the wrong day to do all of this work outside. It's like 93 degrees out. I'm dying, but I think I finally got to a point to where I got tired of sanding. So I started taking apart all of the trim on the door because I'm gonna want to get the door jambs painted. So I got the molding removed. There was some adhesive that I'll have to reapply once the car's painted. I also removed the side view mirrors just so I can be able to sand around that area where there's still clear coat. Passenger side's pretty much good to go. I think I might want to see if I can pull out this trim. Hopefully it's not adhered with the back glass there. But the driver's side still needs all of this similar work done, so I'll quickly run through it. This should just pop out. This trim, yes, comes all the way down. Looks like some of it goes behind the dash. There's that. Let's chuck that in there. Then there's another molding that's gonna need to come out. This has adhesive on the corner down there that needs to pop off. Just keep pulling. Don't be afraid to use a little bit of force here because there's a lot of adhesive in the backside. There we go. And it will all come out. And then there are a couple of little Phillips head screws that are holding in this trim up there. Just need to remove those. Okay, next up on the agenda, I needed to recruit Drift Dad for this. Welcome, Drift Dad. Thank you for coming out and helping, even though it's really, really hot out.
Yeah, thanks. It's really hot out here.
But what we got to do now, I figured, because I need to sand more of the front fenders, I don't want to sand any of this hood because I have a replacement Cybon carbon fiber hood. Wait, no, I don't think it's Cybon. I think it's VIS Racing. Picked it up from some guy for 350 bucks. Some of the clear coat is blotchy in some areas. So I'm going to go ahead and sand it down and either get it re-cleared or painted, whatever color. I'm going to get the FRS painted. But for now, we might as well swap out the hoods because I don't want to damage that one. So Drift Dad and I got the hood on. He ran inside, of course, because it's so hot. I think it looks really nice. The clear coat, though, does have some blemishes on it, so I'm going to have to sand that down and, of course, figure out if I'm going to paint it or not. But the way that it reflects looks nice, and there's like a gold hue to it in certain angles. So definitely something that I'm happy to scoop up for, especially for the low price of $350. But while we're outside, my good old childhood friend, Christopher, stopped by and wanted to pass the football. What's up, Chris? How you doing?
What's up?
I've known Chris for, oh man, a long time.
Oh yeah, a long time.
And we used to go out into the yard, pass the football for hours after school. So Chris, you want to take a little break and pass the football?
Yes.
Let's do it. You know, I figured I've been working all morning. I might as well take a little break and pass the football with a good old friend.
That's right.
I got old friends in my hometown. Yeah, they left me, but I have you. I got new juice, oh, they can't take it. Let my soul drown, cause they can't break it. Cause I'm leaving in the Vast bar, but I pulled up in the Tesla. Oh, yeah, oh, ay, ay. I got old friends in my hometown. Yeah, they left me, but I have you. I got new juice, oh, they can't take it. Let my soul drown, cause they can't break it. Yeah, they need me like I'm...
Christopher, let me see your hands real quick. No, let me see your hands. Are these Butterfingers, Chris? Why you keep dropping the ball? All right, I think that was enough fun, right, Chris?
Yeah.
Good old 5 minutes, just like the good old days.
Yeah.
So hey, whenever you want, come stop by, we'll pass the football some more, okay?
Yeah, when?
Later this week.
Okay.
All right, dude, Chris, it was nice seeing you.
Yeah, man.
All right, see you, Chris. I'll see you next time, brother. Man, it's been a while since I've passed a football. It's one of my favorite sports growing up. But what I got left to do on the car, because honestly it is a little too hot to be out here. Feel a little bit dehydrated. Definitely need to finish up some sanding. I need to do some research to figure out what grit I can use that's safe on carbon fiber. I'm thinking 320 should be the go-to as long as I don't do it too much. I just need to get this layer of clear coat off. But yeah, looking at this hood, I definitely like it. I think I might keep it carbon fiber though. since it's so nice. All right, so I've done a bit more sanding. I'm just trying to find spots where it's still glossy, just to dull out the finish. And while I was doing the roof here, I figured I might as well delete this radio antenna. And because I have a gutted interior with a roll cage, I can see the nut that holds the antenna in right there. So we'll go ahead and remove that, and then I guess that's one of the spots where I'm gonna have to Bondo over or use body filler on. Okay, so this was all that was holding the bottom of the antenna in. I believe there's just adhesive on the top part here. So if we just wiggle, or maybe there's no adhesive. It should just pop out. Oh, there we go. Oh, there was some yellow crap in there. That shouldn't be too hard to Bondo over. Now, I don't really want to delete the antenna. I'll just relocate it. So I might extend this harness and then maybe put it somewhere up underneath the dash or just somewhere else. I do like the shaved look though, or at least I will like it once it's all done. All right, I think after spending my whole Sunday sanding, I've had enough. There's still a lot more sanding that needs to be done that I don't know if I'm gonna film or not. In all honesty, I probably won't, but we are definitely making progress on just getting it all ready for paint. And like I said earlier, the whole point of us doing this is to just make the cost of getting the paint on cheaper. And luckily, the guy that's painting it has been super cool, giving me some tips on what I need to do and how to get it done. So with that said, that's gonna be it. Make sure to stay tuned for the next video, because if you all remember my broken Tomei exhaust, I actually just got it repaired. So where the mid pipe was, I just had a new section of titanium welded in. So it'll be very interesting to see, once we get this exhaust on, how it sounds. And I'm super looking forward to it. And instead of waiting for the car to get painted, I figured that will be the next video, so stay tuned for that. Enough of me talking. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and from me and Nacho, who is trying to pick up his brush, we hope you guys have an awesome day, and we'll see you next time. Peace.